Talfo. I'm the Director of Character and Leadership at Highland School. Like all of our students and all of our faculty, we all wear many hats. So some of my hats include teaching freshman seminar, overseeing the service learning program, our internship program, and our experiential education program. But the role that gives me the greatest pleasure is teaching the Leadership Studies elective and overseeing the Leadership Certificate program. And so before you hear from one of our senior candidates, I'll just give you a little bit of backdrop to that. You've heard about our mission here at Highland School, and Ian's going to talk a little bit more about it. But the Leadership Certificate program is the oldest of our certificate programs. And it was designed to help students to recognize leadership potential within themselves, to create opportunities for them to practice leadership, to offer activities and experiences that challenge them, to push them past their own limits and their own comfort zone, and then lastly, to be reflective about their journeys here in Highland School. So in the back, I have a quilt that was pieced together by our sophomore class. It's one of our traditions in field studies, but we like to think of the certificate programs as an individual piecing together of experiences for students, for them to take the things that they have done inside of Highland and outside of Highland, and stitch together those experiences to create their own story and their own wonderful tapestry. And so we have the privilege of hearing one of those stories today with Ian. So without further ado, I'll be your driver, but you can tell us about your leadership journey. So.
Thank you, Mr. Kaufman. Before I get started, I'd like to thank all the veterans in this room for your service on this Veterans Day. It really means a lot to me and to this country, coming from a military family myself. All right, so my name is Ian Winch. I'm a senior here at Highland. This will be my last year here, sadly, but I am looking forward to what comes ahead. I kind of want to start this presentation off with a quote, which will set the tone and theme for the rest of this presentation. No human is limited. With a good heart and a strong mind, you can do it. That was said by Eliud Kipchoge, and I'll tell you who he is later in this presentation. Okay, so here's the overview of the Leadership Certificate. First off, you have your coursework. Your coursework starts with an application to the Leadership Studies program, to Mr. Kaufman more specifically. And then you take one of two classes, Leadership Studies or Social Justice. You have your leadership development experience, 3 leadership demonstrations, and then you have to do a reflection or showcase. This is my reflection and showcase. And beyond that, you have quarterly check-ins with your mentor. My first mentor is Dr. Zuckerman, as you have met already. And Mr. Hughes is my current mentor, who is the head of the arts department here. And finally, you have peer evaluations, one done by yourself, you're an adult, and another student. All right, before I came to Highland, I went to Lytton Hall School, as I know a few families here have done. It's a very small school, private Catholic. It was about a mile from my house. As I was leaving my 8th grade year, the last thing the student government wanted was a new piece of playground equipment, because they don't get a whole lot of money there at Lytton Hall since it's privately funded. And I raised my hand, ooh, I can do that. And so I ended up doing this over the course of my summer break before I started coming to Highland. And this was me building this Gaga ball pit. This was really a challenge for me. Mainly, the most challenging parts were fundraising, because I didn't get any money from Lytton Hall, rather, and leading people that were much older than me. At the time, I was very, very young getting my Eagle Scout. I just turned 14, and the average age for Eagle Scouts in the country is around 17 or 18, so I was 4 years ahead of the curve here. And everyone I was leading here, with the exception of a very few, were much, much older than me. And leading people that are older than you is kind of difficult, because they don't necessarily respect your authority because you're much younger. But this was a good chance for me to really push myself and kind of go out of my comfort zone, so to speak. That's something that we are really fond of doing here at Highland, but not pushing yourself too far. But through this, I really learned that you need to communicate clearly and effectively to those around you, especially to those who are older than you, to really get at what you're trying to accomplish. So now that I had come to Highland, actually let me back up before I say that. I came to Highland because of the values that it shared with Scouting and what I learned at Linden Hall. There are certain values and codes that we have in Scouting, the Scout Oath and the Scout Law. And I found that really apparent here in Highland School's mission statement and their honor code. I found those were things that I really, really wanted to be a part of my everyday life and that would help me succeed and thrive. The first 3 lines of the mission statement really sum up what brought me here. Highland School prepares students to thrive, lead, and serve in a diverse and dynamic world. I was like, this is what I need. This is what I really, really wanted coming to a high school. Out of Scouting, which had been a big part of my life and still is a big part of my life now, these are the same values that I want to fulfill and live up to, and doing it with a group of people who share that same ideal was really key to me, and that's something that I needed in order to succeed. All right, so freshman year field studies. This was something that is tradition here at Highland. All freshman classes do it. Coming into my freshman year, I was supposed to be the largest class in Highland's history at just a touch over 70. This is me here in the middle holding a map of the Chesapeake. So what freshman field studies is, the process is that in the first week of school, we were shipped out to the Chesapeake Bay area, and we learned all about the ecology and really got to bond with our new class, since none of us had really known each other beyond the people that we came in with, if we came in to Highland with any students from our former school. And here, I was giving a presentation on the ecology of the Chesapeake with 3 people that I did not know at the time, but now I'm very close to. And they were like, can you give this presentation, Ian, because we heard you're an Eagle Scout and you stereotypically must know a lot about the environment. Well, they were right. So I ended up giving this presentation, and they ended up thanking me profusely because they weren't comfortable giving a presentation about something they didn't have a lot of knowledge on. So leading and being part of a group that I didn't know kind of pushed me out of my comfort zone. And I only had 2 other students come into Highland with me. So doing this with a group of entirely different people was brand new to me, and it was something I really enjoyed. At the end of my freshman year, I did my leadership development experience, and I went to Outward Bound in North Carolina. That's something that you can choose to do here at Highland. They will help set it up for you. And in this group, there were a bunch of lifers from Highland. The majority of that group was lifers. And that was another kind of uncomfortable situation because they were all really, really good friends with them. And that's not to say that I wasn't good friends with all these people. It's that these people had known each other for their entire lives. And for me to come in with a few other students that weren't lifers in this group, it was a challenge at first, but they welcomed us right in, and we really had to thrive and succeed as a team if we wanted to survive this 5-day journey in North Carolina through rain and mud, and it really worked out well, and I really got to become close friends with people I didn't think I would be able to become really close friends with, and I can still go and talk to these people today about anything I need. My sophomore year, I was given the chance to take the leadership studies class, and with this provided me many opportunities, which is still providing me today, even though it was only a semester class, my first semester of sophomore year. The best experience I got out of the leadership studies class was being able to talk about this man here. This man here is Mr. Dennis Beliveau. He retraced the entire trip of Marco Polo, which for those unfamiliar is about 25,000 miles across Venice, Europe, and Asia, and then back to Venice. And he did this all by foot and by camelback and very, very limited on wheels or anything modern. That's very, very difficult. And getting to study him and introduce him when he came here last year was really something fascinating to me, to see that he doesn't put any limits on his leadership or the way he wants to achieve something. I think that's really, really important. If you put limits on yourself, you're not going to prepare yourself to succeed in whatever the task it is you are trying to accomplish. And then in the actual leadership studies class, we took a field trip to Verdun Adventure Bound, which isn't too far from here, and we got to do like what we call at Highland Type 2 fun, which is kind of, and I did speech on, which is also essentially type 2 fun, suffering with friends. And I don't really have a problem with heights, but I have some friends here in this picture that weren't necessarily a big fan of it. And I got to really help them overcome these challenges for them. And that was something really big for me in leadership my sophomore year. All right, does anyone in this room run? I'm asking adults, family, do you run? What distance do you run, sir?
Not a lot, like 2 miles.
Okay, all right. Well, since none of us seem to really enjoy running a whole lot in this room, I myself am very passionate about it as cross-country captain, soon to be track team captain. This is Eliud Kipchoge. He's who I quoted on the first slide, and he's the world record holder in the marathon. And what that means is he ran the marathon in 2 hours, 1 minute, and 40 seconds. That's 4 minutes and 39 seconds per mile. That's very, very fast. It's near impossible. And he's really been a big...
I'm so sorry.
He's been a really big idol for me because he doesn't set any limits on himself. He took part in a project where he tried to break 2 hours in the marathon, and he said, the only way I'm going to be able to do this is if I believe in myself and I say I can do this. And that's really been a big guide for me these past 4 years. Speaking of stepping out of your comfort zone and putting no limits on yourself, my junior year, really explored what Highland here has to offer. I took part in the musical. Coming in as a STEM guy, this was really terrifying for me. I haven't done any singing since I was in the 3rd and 4th grade doing chorus at Linden Hall. But I really, really enjoyed taking part in Sweeney Todd. It was really a great experience for me. I would certainly love to do the musical again if given the opportunity. But that was really a way for me to go into a group, again, similar to Outward Bound, where I was not familiar with what was going to happen since I have not taken part in all the plays and other musicals leading up to this. And that was really a specific group here at Highland because a lot of people do enjoy the arts here at Highland, something that we really excel in. And coming into this group and them putting me up in a position to thrive was really, really important and really helpful because I tried out and I was given a primary role, which I didn't expect. I was just hoping to make chorus at best. And they really helped me succeed in this role. Beyond that, I was given the chance through leadership to take part in the West Point Leadership and Ethics Conference in DC. This conference, we were really taught by West Point and some of the cadets how to lead and in their way. Their way is morals first, then orders second. And in the Army, that's very important because if you're not following your ethics, then you're not going to be following your orders correctly or specifically enough. And that's really driven me to be better in my everyday life. Beyond those 2 experiences in my junior year, I was given the chance to be part of the robotics business team here at Highland. And with that, I was able to do a lot of memorabilia, and I designed the photo book for the robotics team last year, and I did a lot of the marketing as the business team would do. And this was really a good experience for me to go into a zone where I really enjoyed doing what I was doing. I really liked business and numbers and math. I was like, this is a really great way for me to do this. So I will continue to keep doing that this year. And that pushed me to do something a little more extreme for my junior internship. I interned at GDMS, General Dynamics Mission Systems. They are a military defense contractor. And this was a really important leadership development experience for me because I went into this internship not knowing anyone beyond my point of contact, and I got to work with a bunch of people that I didn't know, and that was really great. It was really, really hard at first because I didn't know where to go. I was certainly find myself lost a few times in that building, but there was always people there to help me, and I ended up being able to succeed and help them out in many of their projects. So what I would accredit to my biggest failure in leadership these past 4 years was my attempt to set up the track team last year while I was simultaneously managing those last 4 things that I mentioned on those 2 slides. I realized that I needed to be a lot more proactive in setting this up. I tried to set this up out of winter season, which is about the time the musical started, and it just didn't work. I was not proactive enough, I didn't push, I didn't send emails, I wasn't communicating, and by the time of the end of